Hey, welcome to Mama Mandala. I'm Hagar. I'm excited to have this moment with you, this moment of yoga. You know, the word yoga comes from Sanskrit. It comes from the verb root yuj, which means to yoke. So, yoga in its origin and also through its unfoldment and its evolution, and through its many iterations and many reincarnations, yoga means to connect, to bring parts together. Now, it depends on who you ask and who you're talking to. What we're connecting to is going to have, it's going to show up as different things, and it's going to have different meanings for different people. And we can ask ourselves, and we can ask each other, and we can come into conversation where we're wondering and moving through this contemplation. What do I want to connect to? Where do I want to bring pieces together? And I think that in this moment in time, when the world is so divisive, the human world is right now going through a period of time where division is becoming more real, and there's more polarization, and we're feeling it and we're seeing it all around us. And some of us, if we're sensitive and if we care about justice and human rights, we might be feeling it intensely, and we might be experiencing even this divisive quality inside ourselves, because we are seeing others doing things that we disagree with, and then there's a reaction. And so in this time, I think, and you're invited to ponder that for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Question yourself, ask yourself, where and when and how does making a connection, building a bridge, coming together, integrating more parts, bringing together instead of sending away, instead of excluding one group in the name of saving another, when is that a good idea? How is that going to play out in your life, in your conversations, in the tough conversations that you might be having these days with relatives and friends? When is integrating ourselves, we are made of so many parts that are also fragmented. So we get to, through the practice of yoga, which we're going to dive into in a sec, we get to, through our practice, through the way that we guide our thoughts, through the way that we converse inside ourselves, bring more of our parts together. Bring together the aspects of ourselves that we may tend to send to exile. And through that, maybe also take ourselves through a process with the world around us, where instead of sending them to exile, they are wrong, so therefore they don't have the right to, and they don't deserve to, you name it, you name who. That can help us increase our capacity to understand each other. And that's not to bypass the injustices. That's not to ignore and really do that spiritual bypass where, oh, we're all one. No, it's not. Yes, we are, but that's not the point of this, is not to let that become a way for us to excuse something that is maybe horrific and unjust. But rather, if we want things to change, we're going to have to find a way to integrate all the parts, even the ones that we feel don't deserve to, you fill up the blank. So let's take that into our bodies and invite ourselves through this practice right now to create integration and a deeper connection within ourselves, and also to our environment. So stand at the top of your mat and bring your right hand over your belly and your left hand over your heart, and allow your eyes to soften. You don't have to close your eyes, but if you want to, you can, if it feels good. And bring yourself into this moment, wherever you are, whatever you're experiencing, whatever is moving through you. as a doorway into your breath, into life force, into the river of life that is flowing through you and through everything around you. And so breathe in and allow your belly to expand, your chest to rise, and breathe out and allow the belly to contract and the chest to drop a little bit. Breathe in and fill yourself with prana, with life force, with this power of life that's flowing through everything. You are connected to everything. And breathe out, and as you exhale, you touch the world. You reintegrate yourself into the environment you're a part of. Breathe and make your belly really big so that we're inviting the nervous system to regulate through the breath. And as you breathe out, just allow the belly to softly draw back. And again, deep breath. Expand your belly and your chest. And slow breath out. Allow the exhalation to bring a sense of relaxation and an arrival in this space that you're in. One more round of breath like that. Inhale, make your belly big, your chest broad. And breathe out and allow the expansion to soften. And then release your arms and open your eyes, and inhale, circle your arms up. And exhale, bend your knees and reach your arms through your sides, and then bring your fingertips to the floor. And if you can't touch the floor, put a block underneath you. You can put your hands on a couch or on a chair. Create a way for yourself to be supported. That's a way to integrate your parts. You have weaknesses, you have pains, you have aspects of yourself that may not be working or moving the way that you want it to. Do what you need to do in order to create support for yourself. Inhale and look forward, halfway up. And maybe that's the same with the world too. Exhale and fold back in. Keep your knees bent for this, for these first few breaths. Inhale and look forward. Stretch your hips back and your chest forward. And exhale, slowly fold back in. Inhale and look forward, halfway up. And exhale to fold back in. Maybe if we figure out how to support the parts that we want to send to exile, we will have better results than to fight them and push them and send them away. Bend your knees and circle your arms up to the sky. I'm not saying that's 100% a solution, because that's a little bit overly simplifying. Exhale, bring your hands together to your heart. A world that is very complex and nuanced, and we can't always work with the forces around us the way that we want to. Inhale and reach your arms up high. It's just one more lens through which we can look at the world and at ourselves. Exhale, bend the knees and circle the arms through the sides and bring your fingertips to the floor. So the process of integration, inhale and look forward, halfway up, knees are bent. And exhale, bend your right knee a little bit more deeply as you send your left leg back. Lunge pose, fingertips on the floor. The world is complex, so the integration of the world is not to simplify it. Press down through the ball of the right foot, through the ball of the left foot, bend deep into the right knee and stretch your spine long. Deep breath in. And exhale, step the back foot forward. Uttanasana, forward bend. Knees bent. Inhale and look forward. Integrating is weaving a more complex pattern in a way. Exhale, step your right foot back. Press into the ball of the left foot and into the ball of the right foot. And then bend deeper into your left knee as you stretch long through your spine. Slow breath in. Draw the front of your hip bones, the ASISs, towards each other to create more strength, more integration, more of your parts coming together. And exhale, step the back foot forward into Uttanasana, forward bend, knees bent. Inhale and look forward, halfway up. Send your hips back, send your chest forward. Exhale, still the front of the hip bones pull towards each other as you fold and bow deeply back in. Inhale, look forward, halfway up. Exhale, step your left foot back or right foot forward, bend deep into your right knee, and with your exhalation, reach your right arm up toward the sky as you bend deep into the front knee. Now, draw the front of the hip bones now toward each other even more. So even though you're twisting to the right and opening this way, make the right side of your body actually pull more toward the left. So you're weaving together the parts. You're creating strength by integrating the sides. The left moves towards the right, but move the right toward the left too. Help them meet in the center, not to agree, but to find cohesion, to find more stability that then will give room for more change, for more openness. Turn your chest up towards the sky as you keep drawing the right ribs and the right hip toward the left, toward the floor. Now inhale, untwist, bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot. Spin the left heel to the floor and walk your hands diagonally away from your right foot. Widen the right knee to the right and press your hands into the floor as you reach your hips up towards the sky. Slow breath in, root into both of your feet. Slow breath out, lengthen your spine and bend deep into the right knee. Walk your hands slowly to frame your front foot. Lift your back heel up, deep breath in. And with an exhalation, step your back foot forward, Uttanasana, forward bend. Still with knees bent here so that your belly can now rest a little bit more on your thighs. You might start to feel a little bit more open. Inhale and look forward. Don't worry, we'll straighten the legs in a moment. Exhale, step your right foot back. Left foot stays forward. Ground into both of your feet and lengthen your spine. And with an exhalation, reach your left arm up to the sky into this twist as you bend deep into your left knee. Press into the ball of your foot on the right side. Press into the ball of the foot on the left side. Draw the front of the left hip bone and the left side of the ribs towards the right as you turn your chest up to the sky. So we actually have more room and capacity to open and expand when we are also bringing things together and weaving them and having the tough conversations, which means we're going to also need to expand our capacity to listen, not just to talk, not just to make our points. Inhale, untwist. And that's a lot of work. Right heel to the floor, hands on the inside of your left leg. And I'm still learning. Wow, I'm not good at it, but I'm getting better. I'm better than what I used to be. Press your feet into the earth. Press your hands into the floor as you reach your hips up to the sky. So it's not about being perfect or good at it. It's about doing the work and trying and continuing to try. Breathe slowly. And don't get me wrong, there are things that I'm not okay accepting, and still I'm going to have to find a way to make space for them when they exist in this universe. So how do we do that? Breathe slowly. I'm not going to be able to make space for racism. I'm just not. Bigotry is just something I'm not willing to accept. So how do I integrate that, right? Slow breath. Press the feet into the earth and then walk your hands to frame your front foot. Back heel up. Deep breath in. And exhale, step your back foot forward into Uttanasana. Now you can stretch your legs straight if you want to. And if not, keep your knees bent. Put your hands on blocks. Put your hands on chair. Do what you got to do to support yourself. Inhale and look forward. Exhale and fall back in. Ground through the legs, and you can bend your knees on your way up or keep your legs straight if you feel really open in the backs of your legs and if your lower back is doing well. Inhale and reach your arms all the way up. Draw the front of the hip bones towards each other. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. And reach your arms up high, deep breath. Tone the back of the throat. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. So deep Ujjayi breath. I don't think I instructed you in that, so I'm sorry. If you haven't already, inhale and look forward. As you breathe, breathe through the tone in the back of the throat. Exhale, step your left foot back so the breath makes a resonant sound. Ground the legs and inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Crescent pose. And then bend deep into your front knee. as you draw the front of both hip bones towards each other. Here too, strengthen the back leg, strengthen the front leg, strengthen your core. So sides of the ribs pull towards the center as you elongate your spine, stretch long and tall. Now, I'm going to turn my back to you, but we're going to open up to the left so that both knees are bent, and we come into goddess pose. So both knees are bent, elbows are bent, fingertips reach towards the sky. Deep breath in here. Exhale, bring your left forearm to your left thigh and stretch your right arm up and over your head. Press through both of your feet. Inhale, back up, both elbows bent. And exhale, right forearm to right thigh, left arm up and over your head. Let's do that one more time on each side. Inhale, both elbows bent as you come up into goddess pose. And then exhale slowly, left forearm to left thigh, right arm over your head. Slow breath. Inhale, and as you move with the tone in the back of the throat, you're integrating the breath. Exhale, stretch the left arm over your head. Now back up as you inhale, both elbows bent. And as you exhale, turn your body to the right, back heel up, both arms up towards the sky. Deep breath in again. Exhale, touch the ground and step the back foot forward into Uttanasana, forward bend. Legs straight or knees bent. Inhale and look forward halfway up. And exhale, step the right foot back. So we move into maybe unpredictable directions. Sometimes inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Then deep into your front knee, back leg stays strong. Draw the front of the hip bones towards one another. Pull the sides of the ribs in towards the center and extend the spine up towards the sky, up through the fingertips. Now with the next exhalation, turn your body to the right. So the toes now are not turned all the way out and they're not turned the way in. Right? And you want your knees to be pointing in the same directions as your ankles. Both of your knees bent, both elbows bent. Deep breath in. And exhale, right forearm to right thigh, left arm up and over your head. Inhale, elbows bent, come up. And exhale, left forearm to left thigh, right arm over the head. Stretch it long and tall. Press through both of your feet, connecting to the earth beneath you. Inhale, back up, both elbows bent. Exhale, right forearm to right thigh. And I know I'm not mirroring you right now. Inhale, back up. And exhale into the left, right arm up and over the head. Both feet rooted, spine elongated. Inhale, back up, both elbows bent, both knees bent. And exhale, turn your body to the left, back heel up, arms up to the sky. Inhale deeply. Exhale, slowly touch the earth and step the back foot forward. Uttanasana, forward bend. Now hold your elbows here and fold over your legs. Keep your legs strong as you're allowing your spine to elongate. As you make room for a bit of a spinal release, your knees can stay bent or your legs can be straight. How do we open ourselves to this side and that side, twist around our center and find ways to, instead of including, weaving together the different sides, the different parts, and creating a pattern that makes room and space for each other, for our mistakes. Release your hands to the floor. Step back and bring your knees to the floor. Bring your big toes to touch, your knees wide apart, and your forearms to the ground. And you also bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra here and place your forehead on the earth. Breathe slowly. And it takes a little bit of that childlike openness, even though having two kids and having knowing their friends and knowing a little bit more, being a little bit more in kid world. I know that kids are not necessarily open. We make them in our heads really open, but they're not necessarily always, not just because of parents or how they're growing up, but because we all show up to this world with our personality kind of ready to unfold. So how do we make room for our gifts? How do we open ourselves up to our shadows so that we are making connection even with the parts of us that are not easy for us to accept? Bring yourself for a moment to all fours, to your hands and your knees. And then bring your left knee behind your right knee and separate your feet wide. Okay, we're gonna go back. Move your hips a little side to side. We're gonna go back and sit on your hips. And this might be like a humongous, it is a humongous opening for the hips. So if you're lady, I cannot sit like this, I just find myself here, that's totally okay. There's two things you can do. One, put a blanket underneath your hips so that you're more elevated. And two, instead of this shenanigan, you can put your left foot on the floor, put your hands behind you so that you can lean into it, and put your right foot on the outside of your left knee, and make sure your foot is flexed and your leg is engaged, and lift and lengthen through your spine. So this is still a big opening, but it's less ferocious. Okay, but if you're cool with Gomukhasana, with cow face, then great, and let's stay here. You're pressing down through the outer edges of your feet, spread through the toes, push the big toe mounds of your feet away from your center and lengthen your spine. Slow breath, and then if you feel up for it, you can start to fold forward. If you can fold forward without rounding your back so much. So rounding your back is not necessarily a bad thing. You can round your back a little bit, but make sure it's also long. Ground into the hips as you take yourself forward and breathe. Breathe and be with all of your parts, the parts that you love, the parts that you struggle with, the parts that you feel like you don't even understand, the parts that are wounded, the parts that are wounding, and breathe with the wholeness of you, and breathe with the fragmentation, breathe with a way that the cohesion is also a recohesive process that allows us to move through a process of breaking down and breaking apart into reintegration in other ways, kind of like the way that the universe does. And you can move yourself in one way or another forward to get yourself back into all fours, and in one way or another, because depending on where you are, it's going to be a different journey. And then all fours again. Move your hips a little bit side to side, and then place your right knee behind your left knee. Spread your toes. Go slowly side to side as you take yourself back so that you can sit a little bit more evenly on the hips. It's not going to be fully even, let's face it. The world is not even. So in a world that isn't even, we have to learn how to distribute the weight a little bit more. Listen to where we need a little bit more of one thing, a little less of another. And you can do here what you did on the other side. So if you need to go back, lean into your hands, place your right foot down and your left foot on the outside of your right knee, and lean back and lift your chest. Fantastic. If you still want to do cow face, but this is a lot, you put a blanket underneath your hips. And if you can, if it feels life affirming to sit on both hips here in Gomukhasana. Go for it. Spread the toes, outer edges of your feet rooted, big toes, sides of your feet pushing out away from the center. Do you feel how that strength opens the hips a little bit more? Because our body is connected, right? What we do with our feet is going to affect our hips. What we do in one part of the world is going to affect another. Slow breath, lengthen your spine. How we're trying to be supportive of one side is going to have effect on the other. So how do we work with the world that everything affects everything else, but not in an orderly way? You can start to fold forward. It's a little bit more chaotic. It is a little bit more like an entropic universe. The universe is, since day one, since the Big Bang, has been breaking apart and coalescing through the process of breaking down, disintegrating in order to integrate in other ways. Slow breath, keep the spine long. So the things that we are saying that we want to dismantle, we better be careful and find the ways that we reconnect on the other side of it, so that we're not dismantling and then the void takes over and something else will arise. So what will it be? We better be prepared for what we want to create. And to also know that it's not necessarily going to go our way. In one way or another, take yourself forward again to all fours. And once again, separate your knees wide apart as your big toes touch, and bring yourself, as you move side to side, into child's pose. Forehead to the earth, forearms to the earth, and breathe slowly. And through the processes that we go through, that question, what do I want to yoke myself to? Huge. To yoke, the root of yoga. What do I want to connect myself to establish a relationship with? And if I am here to connect, then I am not only here to say my part, but I'm here to also listen. And that's hard, and it takes discipline, and it takes connection, because it takes bringing ourselves to the mat to do the work again and again and again. If you have time right now, please lie on your back and rest in Shavasana. And if you don't, that's okay. You can take a moment, just quickly sit back on your heels and place your left hand over your heart and your right hand over your belly. You can do that lying down or sitting. Breathe into your belly and your chest. Breathe into your hands. Reconnect to the breath in this way, so that we send ourselves back into our lives with a nervous system that is regulated. So big breath into the belly. Make it big. And a slow exhalation to allow the belly to rest back. And again, a big breath that expands the belly and broadens the chest. And a slow exhalation that allows things to arrive and to settle. And another big breath. And then allow the breath to flow out. And stay in a resting position in Shavasana if you are down there for as long as you have time for. Rest. And then I will see you soon, okay? Thank you so, so much for joining me. And please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And put a like on this video if it spoke to you. Share it with your people. And head over to mamamandala.com. I will leave a link for you in the description of the video. Subscribe to our mailing list and you'll get our guide for sparking inspiration in your life, so that we can live an inspired life as we make deep connections with ourselves and with each other. And you will also get messages that inspire and invoke and evoke all kinds of feelings, thoughts, and a creative process and ways of thinking of the world. So thank you, and I hope to see you soon. Mwah. Namaste.